Alright, already a potential slight advantage here for Byun. If he doesn't take any early game damage, he could have a nice bit of excessive minerals in comparison to his opponent. Not gonna be too massive, but you know, it should be an okay start for him here. He's taking a bit of a gamble, right? You can be in a bit of trouble if there is a proxy 2 Rex or some other crazy aggressive stuff coming your way with the simple 1 Rex the 1 Rex 1 gas expand. It's the different 111 than other people usually think of when you say the 111. So far, Time getting himself 2 Reapers and a Hellion. Widowmine also on the production with a starport following up. This is going to be the group of units that will require to try and get something done here. Byun already having the 2 Hellions in production with the reactor on the factory. It seems like he should be in an okay position against early game stuff. The Widowmine, I'm guessing mostly will be utilized defensively here, which kind of gives away the mindset of Time as well. Not really looking at getting that aggression going in the early game, so yeah, overall a nice little early head start for Byun. Right, kind of went off running before the gun of the race had started the race. In a little bit. But you know what, we allow that in StarCraft 2 because it requires some technical gambling, in a sense, with your build order. Technical estimations as to how much you can stay alive for. Alright, Raven production for both these players getting started. We see a Cyclone added for Mr. Time. Byun on the other side. Let's see if he's gonna get himself a Cyclone or straight into the Siege Tank production. I think he could go straight into the Siege Tank production. No, and also still gets that Cyclone. Alright, both of them playing safe. Ooh, this could be nasty. Okay, does manage to avoid that situation. Could have been a bit nasty. Here are the Hellions now, ready to clean it up. Lovely job there by Byun. I got worried there for a moment, but, you know, Byun knows how much he needs to one-shot with that Widowmine right there. So he knew he would be okay by running on top of it. So neither of these players so far has sent a single unit across the map yet. Like, the Widowmine and the Raven interaction is about the best we've seen. Where both of them trying to send a single unit across the map and getting spotted. Well, maybe that Widowmine was just supposed to be around this area here to intercept flying units. Or at least give a bit of a heads up for Time before it's already in his mineral base or his mineral mines. Third base timings, there they are. Again, looking like the economy might be a bit favored for Byun, but you know what, overall, the Blue Terran here keeping up with the work account, regardless of that second command center being a bit quicker for Byun. Paused. We got ourselves a pause. Just wait for that to resolve. Three, two, one, and game continue. Resumed. Alright, lovely. Getting things started again. Not quite sure what happened there, but we're good to go again, so it's all fair. It's not like anything interesting was happening at this moment. Definitely liking Byun's position here. With that third base also earlier already on position. He's got the location secured. And he's moving across the map. He has a bit of an opportunity here to make the landing of this command center go a bit more scarily than it may have had to be. Siege tanks for time are coming into position as well, but they're not going to be able to zone out entirely Byun's army here. So yeah, has to take a bit of a detour. I might consider going back to this location actually, still a lot shorter of a distance. As Byun quite rapidly started to run away. Oh, no, no, no. Wow, wow. Okay, he gets stim pack. He just denied stim pack. I was not thinking that would be happening there, but that's just what happened to the other turrets and the landed Vikings coming in and breaking down a heck of a lot of stuff here. They got themselves one single tac lab. I thought they got like a reactor or something. They still get kills. My goodness. The army of time is starting to move across the map. These Vikings just have free reign over everything. There's not as many siege tanks available for Byun overall. Although that number has already increased as well. Now 4 siege tanks versus the 5. It's going to come down to how quickly these siege tanks siege up for both players and how good the control of the Ravens is. Definitely seeming like a quicker siege up for Byun, but the interference matrix helping out a bit better for Mr. Time here. Is able to keep all of his siege tanks alive, killing, well, yeah, every single one of them that was wearing the red colors. Suddenly, you know, Time should. Main base had quite a bit of a hiccup, but it is staying at least alive. I think Byun's going to stay alive as well, actually. Ooh. Nice target fire on those SCVs, realizing, alright, let's just try to get this economic damage dealt here. Doing quite a bit more than Byun even managed to do on the other side. And suddenly, Time with that push, just interference matrix onto 2 of those siege tanks was massive. Byun opting to do all auto turrets with his Raven energy, but just didn't really seem to get on top of the siege tanks. Felt like he was trying to get rid of the infantry and such beforehand, or maybe Time just zoned Byun away from that option too much. Another opportunity here for Time as he's coming in. One siege tank not quite ready. This is a bit of a lag spike. That's unfortunate. Byun has to be careful. Another lag spike. I'm gonna have to pause this game.
Game paused.
Sorry. Sorry. I don't know where that's coming from. I'm just... Check. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Man, that's a bad time to pause. That really was. Sorry. I'm sorry. But it was a bad time to lag as well. I don't know what would be better. Yeah, it was there. It was there. GG is called. Maybe I should have just let it go. Oh well. Oh well. Right, will be the Reapers. Double gas opening for Time though. He's playing it safe once more. Should be able to safeguard himself here, hopefully. He might go down a blazing path of glory. This is where trouble could come in from the lack of scouting overall from both of these players.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
First Reaper for Time here, now available. He did keep it all packed closely at home the previous game, so if that's going to happen again here, that could potentially be quite nice for him. Although, you know, sometimes you see the situation where the Reaper does go across the map and suddenly that one Reaper just does more than the proxy 2 ranks Reapers at the other base, but we'll see. Ooh, this first Reaper is going to go down quite quickly. Nice bit of target fire as, ooh, Byun manages to take out one of the Reapers himself as well. Oh, gotta be careful. That one is quite low, but he's staying alive for the time being. It's gonna be a moment before another Hellion or Reaper shows up. So these 2 blue Reapers now getting quite a bit of work done. Byun up to 3 Reapers. Getting them away, trying to kite them as efficiently as possible. Oh dear. He's gonna keep them alive, I think. Oh, he might lose one of them. Yeah. He's killed 7 workers already, however. And that is a tremendous amount of damage right here. A delay on the CC also. Like, this is just stacking up right now. At home, Byun's getting himself the factory already with attack lab added as well. Further delay of the command center. Another SCV has to be sent out. 3 Hellions with the Reaper. That should be enough to safeguard this SCV now, and he does manage to do so. He's gonna try to keep them away from that ramp there as well. Zone them out of that area. Just take the fight head on. Doesn't want to go back and forth endlessly with these units. Really would like to finish them off, but nice placements of the Reaper grenades. Does stop the chase. That will be the end of the Proxy 2 racks. Starting to head on home right now. Will be a while before his production is fully up and running again, but you know, it's gonna be a while before time has recovered from the SCV damage also. Going for the Banshee. Not necessarily. Oh my dear, what in the wet? Was he still making more Reapers? I guess he was just waiting for them to get fully recovered, and now he's in here again. Cleaned up the Hellions. And gets 2 more SCVs. Which I think is pretty good. Right, it's not game ending overall, but definitely very worthwhile coming back in there. Reapers won't be able to carry themselves later down the line as much, so just use them for whatever you can at this point, right? Might scoop up a Cyclone here as well. Oh, that's a bit of an unfortunate micro right there from Time. And he's going to lose more workers here. This is starting to go from bad to worse. No cloak on that Banshee either. The Cyclone gets another very valuable kill, and GG is called. Just absolutely out-microed there by Micro Jackson himself. 2 fantastically tough Terran players, of course. Unfortunately, we had to replace Max Packs today here with Byun. We couldn't get a hold of Max Packs. I'm sure that, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on for the players at this moment in time. With the Dream Hacks happening, especially for the European regions. Which is happening today and yesterday as well. I believe Max Packs was playing. I'm not sure if he's playing today also, actually, but I'm pretty sure he was playing yesterday. Well, regardless, there's, you know, a lot on his mind. A lot on his plate. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him in the slightest. You know what? We still got some pretty nice StarCraft 2 here. Byun versus Time, a nice matchup. A good one to watch in the TVT. 2 players that like to be as aggressive as they can. Time another players such as Byun that just want to be across the map, try to utilize their fullest potential of multitasking. Overexert the opponents that they're facing. Second base, and second base. Alright. Same time, same place for both players. No advantage anywhere yet. Pretty much the same build for the time being. We're seeing another Reaper on the menu for Time. I don't think we've had that for Byun. No, Byun went for the reactor here. He's going to be able to build 2 Reapers at a time. Which should be perfectly fine in this situation here, right? You're going to be a bit safer for the early game this way, if you're going to get attacked. But yeah, this should be perfectly operational at this time frame also. That's the Widow Mine for Byun. this time around. Wouldn't mind always an interesting choice. I guess it's pretty good on maps with a ramp like this. It works out proper. Another check there from the SCV. Just wants to make sure nothing is being snuck into his main base here. It has happened in the past. Admittedly, this would be a little bit of a late period in the time to have that happen, but... you know, time's still checking for it. Byun also kind of looking around on the map, taking the edges of the map. Might be looking for some units that are flying by. Potentially. Or some sort of proxy starport, perhaps. More Reapers here for Byun once again. Could start the exploitation of his micro once more. Be in a bit of trouble with the Cyclone there. On the other side, it couldn't quite get anything done with his Hellion either. That was well shot down by the Red Terran. It's slower with the overall production of air units here for Byun, however. You're slightly ahead in the economy, but, you know, that extra Raven here for time could be a difference maker. Actually, we're not going to have any Ravens out of Byun. Yeah, no, that starport's on a reactor now. It's going to go straight into Medivacs. Interesting. Third base. I know Byun sometimes foregoes the air units, right? He just doesn't really play that much as the other Terrans in TVT with Viking Raven. He's more of the guy that would like to just shut you down with overwhelming amounts of Marines and siege tanks. Because I believe in his mind, right, the Marines beat the Vikings. So if you just keep the Vikings and stuff at bay with the Marines, then if you just have more siege tanks, that's better overall. Because the siege tanks help keep your Marines alive. Now, that's, you know, that's a fun way to play. I'm not sure if it's the best way to play. But maybe it's the best way to play for Byun, right? That's a fair point. It's definitely something you should take into consideration with these things. Finding a bit of damage with that drop, nothing too special. Only 2 SCVs going down. I probably don't think that drop was all that worth it. As it's giving Time the opportunity to do something similar. Flying out with 2 Medivacs, 2 siege tanks in those bad boys. And 2 Ravens also as extra added support. That could be quite terrifying if that drops somewhere where Byun isn't quite ready to react to it. This could start dealing a lot of damage. Does have his siege tanks and Marines at the front door, but these Medivacs, they might be going for a location like over here where that he can threaten the production as well as the mining. Right, just gonna go straight into the main base. Auto turrets to shut down a siege tank immediately. Already 13 SCVs going down because of this. This is now absolute panic for Byun. Needs to get his units in here. Just needs to shut this down as quickly as possible without losing too much, hopefully, in the process. And he manages to hold on to his army units fairly well. However, the SCV count definitely severely hurt after that crushing blow. This is a bit surprising. Okay, Time. Is he moving out? I don't think he has to move out right now. After killing those SCVs. Well, I guess the work count is not too far apart. Alright, well, he's going for it. Still a bit of energy left on those Ravens. Finds a nice angle to deny mining off of this third base. On its own already makes it worth it. Reapers there, not doing too much for the moment. Gonna be, yeah, zoned away once more. Gets what he can. And resumes mining here. Definitely cast a bit of an up spike there for Time's income advantage. Reason why we're seeing him so well now on the army supply. But something worth noting is that Byun, foregoing the Ravens and such, has been able to obtain the upgrade advantage here. Already having combat shield, already having the +1/+1. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for him to abuse it right now, as these upgrades are going to finish full time in about like 20 to 30 seconds. We might have the same opportunity arise, however, for Byun later down the line with the 2-2. It's going to be important to see how quickly Time will be with starting his 2-2 here. Okay, pretty much immediately. So that's going not to be that massive of an opportunity either for Byun. Finds this though. Okay, gets the siege tank, gets out of there. Secures the location. Very well done. Goes back in again as he sees the siege tanks on siege. Gets back out of there. One good shot, however, on his marines. Probably still worth it, as he did manage to shoot down another one of those siege tanks. Equalizing out the overall siege tank count and actually putting him a bit in the lead. There we are, 4th base timing. Byun playing it safe with his 4th base. Time, however, as he is the one a bit more aggressive and up and about on the map. Might be feeling a bit more comfortable putting that command center on the place where he wants it to be producing later down the line. Tries to find if Byun had similar plans there. Not finding too much. As Byun... Okay, I love that he sends in one SCV, or one Marine there first. Play it safe, play it careful. Saves the SCV. Okay, +2/+2. Just finished up here for Byun. Very quick with that 3-3 immediately afterwards. Could be a moment here. This Marine's just going to be that much more impactful than the ones of Time. Is he going to be in a good enough arc, however? Ooh, anti-armor missile might make a difference. Oh dear. 3 more siege tanks in the back. Byun moving backwards to have his Marine supported there. However, there's still the Vikings in the air. Ravens throwing down auto turrets, and that is pretty much the army of Byun vaporized in a couple of seconds there. Well played by Time. Not 100% certain what the difference makers were there. Interference matrices seem to be in favor for Time, and he still had a good amount of auto turrets. Marines of Byun with the anti-armor missile landing on them definitely seemed to struggle there, regardless of having the +1/1 and then themselves having +2/+2. Not sure what that was about. Maybe trying to get a rescout going, something like that. Maybe he thought he put the Marines back in the medevac, I don't know. But he's still going around. This could be another opportunity here. That is a big meatball coming for this base right now. And that is a beautiful anti-armor missile once more. The anti-armor missile, regardless of how many more Marines than your opponent you have, by foregoing the air units, the anti-armor missile just seems to be making up for that fact alone. And well, then Time is there with more units of his own as well, more siege tanks, more Ravens, and more Vikings. It was very hard for Byun to win the siege tank fights as soon as they kind of siege up at us at the same time. be another upgrade opportunity window here, perhaps. For Byun, but that is so many siege tanks. You cannot walk into that with Marines. And that's the end of that. Uh-oh. Yawn. Careful. Okay, brings back the Marines. On siege for on time. Will be able to get himself away from there. Doesn't lose a detached army battalion. Gonna just regroup. Gather up all the troops. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna start heading out once again pretty soon. And look at this, still no air units whatsoever out of Byun, just medevacs. Whenever he needs medevacs, he's like, alright, let's get some. But other than that, we're gonna get ourselves Marines and siege tanks. That's all we need. Here we go, let's see if it's gonna work out for him. That's a lot of siege tanks. I'm not sure if he has the manpower to overwhelm that. But he does have the manpower to obtain a fair bit of square mileage there. However, he's given up control of his own base. Another drop here in this area. A lot of stuff happening at the same time. But it seems like time is taking the upper hand in most of these areas. A bit more SCV damage than he perhaps should have had happen in this base right here. Marines now into the main base. That does allow you to do this type of thing with just having Marines. Gotta be careful not to be sniped out by the Vikings as you're mid-transition, which could happen here. He's stuck around for quite a bit of time, so might lose a medevac. No, the boosts get him out of there. That's another attack here. Oh, that's gonna kill himself another orbital. Very well done. Upgrades are equal now, so no difference is there any longer. The SCV is trying to gather up their strength, tank it out for those Marines of Byun. Does manage to give him safety for the time being. However, his SCV count now on 33 versus the 65. As our Chinese Terran here is just gobbling up all the minerals on his side of the map. He has a ginormous advantage. And perhaps one that might not be able to be overcome here by Byun anymore. Uncertain as which angle of approach is going to be utilized here by either players. An awkward dance back and forth. Neither of them want to give it up freely either. A location like this, that is just going to lead into one of their more prosperous mining bases. That's still a lot of siege tanks here. How many siege tanks is he on right now? 17, but Byun on 15. It's more than I thought he would be. Okay, Byun still with a formidable army. Is he going to try to bust his way in here? Okay, well, this is something. This is definitely something. Going past the siege tanks. I thought he would drop on top of the siege tanks, but instead going past them. We'll still have the siege tanks there later. On the other side will be a similar problem here. But, you know what? Time already dealing with the siege tank of his opponents that are defending. And again, it's just looking quite formidable here for time. As this push in the main base is going to start getting cleaned up. The push on the planetary fortress, I mean, it's doing damage to a planetary fortress. It's not really getting him any advantage anymore. And GG is called with that. Okay, no proxies once more. The one time the proxy was performed was by Byun, of course. And it worked out really well, so... maybe if he falls further behind, that might be his next step once more. Byun definitely a unique figure in the TVT matchup, that is for certain, which gives it a nice bit of taste, right? Because sometimes if you have the Terrans, or in the mirror matchups in particular, if you just kind of know the attack route they're going to go down, you know they're both going to go for the same army structures, right? It feels a lot more solved, but with, you know, a style that is quite unique to a individual. You know, especially on this rank. I suppose there might be quite a lot of people that like to play this as well. I like to play this style with just marine siege tanks, just foregoing the air control if I fall too far behind. Because, well, it's just easier to control. And, yeah, you feel like you have more time to just kind of try to utilize movement rather than, you know, having to focus on setting up all the time. You can be quite mobile with a big ball of marines, and if you just have more marines and you catch your opponents as they're still unsieged somewhere, right, they're mid-transition, and you just stim in from an angle, they're not going to have enough marines to counteract your stim in. You're going to be able to take a better fight there. But yeah, again, comes down to how many siege tanks there are, how many siege tanks are spread out enough so that when they siege up, the marines won't be able to just jump on top of all of them at the same time. There's a lot of what-ifs to this scenario, and probably the reason why people don't really play this style as much. But it's cool to see. It's cool to see Byun doing it regardless. I always assumed that eventually he would grow into the Raven play a bit more so as well with the Vikings. But I guess with the Liberators being a logical next part of it, it does feel a bit, you know, anti-Byun playstyle. Liberator siege tank. Right? Very slow, methodical approaches. It's just not entirely his thing. He just likes to get in there and outmove his opponent. Kind of like, what's it called? I think Caesar was known for this as well, right? One of the best things about Caesar was that he just did things so much quicker than other people would. That they were always so surprised how quickly you could gather his troops, how quickly you could get the march going across how many miles he needed. And he would just always be quicker. He would have less sleep, I'm pretty sure, as well. And he would just have less free time, but he would just be going. And that's kind of what it feels like for the man under control of Byun as well. They just keep going. They will be on across the map most of his games. Now, of course, this one, TVT, it's a bit of a peculiar one. Can turn quite nasty if you run in with the wrong set of units in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then suddenly a couple of Hellions or Reapers come in. Yeah, and it can snowball quite early. This Banshee here, I don't think that's going to snowball things too much. Didn't get himself any cloak upgrade. And there's already a Cyclone here. And that's about all she wrote. It's going to stay alive. Oh, no, it's... Oh, I thought it would barely, but not even that. Okay. A bad start there full time. Don't think Byun really has now an advantage in the Raven count, however. As he's not building any Ravens. Again, he's just going for, here we are. Here's a bunch of Marines. Let's try to make it work like that. A more mobile hit squad coming in from the front door. And I suppose the medevacs will be trying the back area here in the main base. I don't think this is gonna work, Byun. I think this is looking pretty much exceptionally well set up here for time to stop this from doing too much. If you can get these two Cyclones to lock onto the same medevac early on as they're coming in, I mean, that's just the end of that push already. These medevacs would need to have enough of an influence in the main base that I think at least a siege tank and a Raven, maybe even more, would have to be pulled from here with more Marines also in order for Byun to get something going at the front door. And he's just waiting as well, so I guess he's not going to get that aggressive. Which is kind of nice. Seeing how he has his third base on location. Time doesn't quite yet. Gets himself a marine. And with that move out, might be having more opportunities, of course, utilizing those medevacs. Some more surface area for time to spread his units across, so could be some gaps in the setup that Byun will try to look for. Pushing himself forwards. Push the mobile hit squad of Byun off of the high ground area. Gonna have to be extra careful now. How many siege tanks here? I guess it is just the 2 siege tanks there. In he goes. Alright, prevents the artillery range. Has 2 siege tanks of his own as the army units over time are going to try to move past here. Oh, interference matrix, however, coming into the rescue as the marines in the natural base get cleaned up. That was a beautiful response there from time. Wow, that was really good. That was so impressive. He just shot that down so easily. It just felt like he just... a little waft of air, and then, you know, he just waved his hand. That's how easily that felt. I know there's a lot of actions he did there, but that's what it felt like. Just one simple gesture of his entire army moving forwards, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I don't get any SCV kills here. And I'll lose quite a bit of army. Well, he got a couple of them. This is a lot closer than I thought it would be, in fact. I suppose he got out with more medevacs than I had initially thought. But still, didn't get as much done as he perhaps would have liked to. And something else to keep in mind is that Time's army supply is going to be more valuable. Because it is just these more geared towards the siege tanks and the ravens. He should gain more value out of his supply overall than Byun should be able to get. In theory, right? If they both have them set up correctly. Unless if Byun is cheating and has that mod on where you have the marines auto-split when a siege tank is about to target them. Oof. Right, more casualties of war. Unavoidable. No way he was getting that out. Not without a recall. Which, you know, not really possible for Terrence. Okay. It's notable that Time is the player now being quite defensive, right? In comparison to the previous game, Time was just across the map, he was doing things, he was putting Byun in a corner, making life difficult for him. And what is this? Byun is making Vikings? Crazy. He's got the Viking lead as well. He's got 4 Vikings and he's got the lead. I think Time perhaps realizing, oh, you're just full-going Vikings again? Ah, crazy. Byun. Alright, let me just make 2 Vikings. I'll have the lead and that's enough then. But, no sir. There they are. Surprise, surprise. And, yeah, that is a good call from Byun, I would say. Those ravens from Time are just getting way too much value. Interesting engagement. Not sure if I like it. A lot of the siege tanks from Byun not able to fight in this in that one. Gonna have to reconsider slightly. Perhaps overestimating the range on his siege tanks. It was relatively close. It would have been a great fight if all of those siege tanks were able to get their shots off, but not quite in the cards. Now Time set up on the middle pathway. I'm going to try to rotate around here. There we are now, seeing the siege tanks sieging up in quite a nice line. This could be quite terrifying for Time. Oh, but the interference matrix, is that once again going to be enough? I think it might. I think it might. Ooh, more reinforcements, however, for Byun showing up. as he, with his air control, it's not going to be as easy anymore for time to push this away. Can't just load up a couple of medevacs and then drop on top of the sieged up siege tanks here. Admittedly, that didn't occur in the previous game either, but that was because Byun just realized, okay, I'm going to have to move these siege tanks back now. Otherwise, that would be the scenario. Now, instead, he can take a round with his siege tanks without too many Marines around quite a while and try to worm his way into an even better position. Ooh, that was a bit of an overreach. Overstepping the line. More bases being taken by both these players, as we are witnessing a battle of quite large proportions here. See, okay, siege tank there does get killed off for Byun. We're in favor of Byun. He's starting to inch ahead on the overall supply. A lot of that supply mid-transition or still in production. But it's gonna get there eventually. Byun once again making another maneuver here, trying to outposition his opponent. Rather difficult with the sensor towers there. Does find once again a bit of a different angle. Using a lot of Marines on both sides, but doesn't look like either of them are going to be able to really push in here. But this base, the new fresh base out of time, has been found out. That will be taken down quite quickly. Let's see if we see any replacement going up here for time. There it is. Okay, we'll have that command center go to the other side and try to occupy that space instead. But that was a nice maneuver, though, from Byun. Coming in here, checking to see if there's an opportunity. There wasn't, and then just shutting down the path for time to really protect that other base. And this is a bit of an overreach, once again, for Byun. Definitely an overreach. Did not need to go back into this location, but decided to try it for more. And he got more than he bargained for, that's for sure.
This better be good. Who wants some?
Very awkward singular siege tank here. One auto turret should be enough to get rid of it. Ooh, another base! Oh, he's gonna lose that command center as well. Just as few amounts of Marines ready there with their guns. Shooting up, and oh, he's back. The endless array of aggression now from Byun. Just needs to avoid the utter destruction of his units like that. Yeah, needs to avoid it taking an absolutely terrible trade. And allowing time to just get a counterattack going. Because with the way the game is going right now, Byun is winning, right? He's got another base set up. He's denying time any outside spot from what he's secured so far. Another siege tank right there, trying to keep tabs on what time is doing. A lot of the army of Byun just kind of spread out over this area right now. Two more siege tanks there. Uncertain if time is going to start pushing out. Might be a fear in Byun's mind, right? After denying your opponent a base for so long, sometimes they will just attempt to go for an all-out attack. One final assault to breach you as your army is across the map. There we go. Finally, a new base. The 5th base has been established here. For time. It took him a while. Definitely an income advantage has been obtained because of that by Byun. Now, is that going to lead him into a good enough position here to get anything else going? I'm not entirely sure. There is a line of siege tank longer than... well... longer than a siege tank line that I've seen. Ah, that's not true. It's a pretty long siege tank line, though. It spans over about 4 bases, so that's pretty good. And it's nice overlapping also, so they all defend each other. good positioning from time. Still has a good cluster of units here to start moving forwards with. As he still has this main line of defense here. Oh, starting to bring some of those units with him now. Right. This could be it. This could be his moment. Starts to move out. It's the calm before the storm here, guys. This is the make or break maneuver, perhaps, out of time. This is a massive portion of his army. He's too far to back out of it now, I would say. No, dear. Okay, he is coming in. We'll be able to deny this base, but there's already so much available here for Byun. And Byun, once again, finding this new 5th base open and exposed. Oh, that is a massive anti-armor missile right on top of the army of time. Another one strikes true on Byun, however. Byun has those siege tanks already sieged up, which is giving him a major advantage here. Auto turrets, however, giving time that advantage as well. Both players now starting to chop up each other's economy. Time perhaps in a better position to keep this push going forwards into the main base. Be interesting to see whether or not he's going to be successful with that. Byun gathered up quite a few more units, but he's bleeding, man. He is bleeding them out one at a time. Those siege tanks of the red color are just endlessly shooting away, barraging whoever steps in their range. And there's so many of them right now. Not a lot of anti-air. Perhaps, finally, the air dominance here for Byun is going to secure him. Oh no, loses the Raven. Oh, that was such a full HP or a full energy Raven as well. That is heartbreaking. Ooh, nice catch on the Medivacs. 3 of them go down. That's at least something. It's a good thing Byun managed to get these bases settled at the northern side. Should still be in an okay position. That's the Liberators. That's his cue. He's got to get out of there. And that's the cue for the Marines to start running forwards. Ah, wonderful play there by Byun. Very quick to react. Needs to kill this one siege tank still. Yep, there we go. That's a non-negotiable. That just has to happen. Time reclaimed his own 5th base here as well. So we're back up to an equal base count. Supply in favor for Byun. For the time being, that could change, however. One Liberator here, enough to cause quite a bit of turmoil in the 5th base of Byun. Nothing there to defend then. Oh, that is a big portion of Marines now out of position. Byun split up his army, and he wasn't ready to receive. His entire air army, yeah, going up north, trying to deal with that single Liberator. That is a bit much. It's not that much Liberator harassment going on, but seeing how successful one of them was there, I feel like, you know, that could be pretty good here for time to try and get 1 or 2 more. Just to preoccupy Byun with. Especially when your army overall is moving on the bottom side of the map. Forcing Byun to focus his attention and his pieces on the southern side. It's going to be very difficult for him to then micromanage against Liberators as well on the top side. There we go. Oh, thank you, time. Bringing out another one. Might be used for the overall pushing of siege tanks as well, however. Oh, time. Is he out of position here? The army of Byun comes up forwards. Does he have enough? Massive spell casting. And that is looking like a victory for Byun. The Liberators reigning supreme, actually. Not much else is left, but those Liberators definitely packing the punch. As Byun shows, he is very well comfortable with the air army of the Terran also. Regardless of how I see him play a lot of the times. Right. Be a moment here. Could be another base trade in the making. More trading of bases in... for sure. As this base has to be vacated. SCVs will be rescued. And I think, yeah, that orbital is not going to get away. Byun setting up a trap to catch this squadron here, perhaps? No, he's kind of letting them be. In fact, it's like he's inviting them in further forwards into his old third base. Wants to try and chase it down now, but I don't think this is the angle to try and chase it down from. Interference matrix onto some ravens. Anti-armor missile, massive though on Byun. Immediately realizes he has to back up from there. That's just no longer a fight that you should be willing to take. Byun realizing he needs his extra firepower down here. Brings over the siege tanks. Byun. Oh no. That's a lot of Vikings going down. Interference matrix now on top of the siege tanks of Byun as well. As his position is overrun incredibly quickly after losing all of those air units. The Ravens just had free reign. The siege tanks not quite sieged up enough. Byun takes a tumble down a cliff there. Gets a bloody nose. Oh, but finds another bit of a hit there. Takes out 3 siege tanks, I believe. Let's see if that was worth it. Might be out of options here, however. There's still so much running forwards for the Red Terran right now. Getting into position with the siege tanks. The Ravens dropping whatever they still can. Auto turrets being ran away from by Byun correctly, but it is allowing such free reign for time right now on top of the production. And I think this could be it, guys. I think this could be it. He's on top of the production. That is a lethal position here. I guess there's more production on the top position, or in the main base. But this is his starports. This is, well, I guess not his factories. Some barracks here, however, as well. This was a lot of starports. Alright, wrap around from Byun. He's trying to shot in this army. Wait for the opportunity to be opportune, and then try to collapse in on this. So I'm not really allowing that to happen, though. Out positioning for the southwards and taking out yet another base. Byun not going for the wraparound at all, it turns out. Will be going for a orbital on the bottom right side. Ah, but look at that. Time already here. Once again, shuts it all down. Nothing to do for Byun with that attack. 18 SCVs. I mean, that's nice, but actually, that's pretty darn good. Let me see. Well, it's funny how Time now is suddenly in a position where he's the one mining a lot more efficiently. Or having more bases, I should say, is the proper words I should use. Doesn't have as many SCVs, but Byun doesn't really have places to mine from anymore, so... So yeah. Army supplies still very close as well. Let's see if this is going to work out for one of them. Time a bit aggressive with that ramp there. Perhaps not the area you really want to push into. Perhaps trying to bait Byun into taking the engagement as Time is sitting on the ramp with his siege tanks already pre-sieged up. Not gonna fall for it. Byun trying to rotate off of this cliff, but endlessly being watched by this army of Time as well. Looking to out-rotate. This is like 2 fighters in the ring now. Not quite throwing punches at one another, but kind of feeling each other out. Trying to get the positioning just right, so that their punches will carry the most weight. And finds another base here, does Byun. Realizing that there's a base over here as well. If he targets this one, this would be wonderful. There's going to be a missile turret there pretty soon. There's still a lot of SCVs going down. SCV count for Mr. Time is quite bad, actually. He only has 2 orbitals left. I thought he had more. I thought he had way more. But it's only 2 of them, and he's down to 38 workers. There's not that many places left to mine safely from, I suppose. But neither of them really has a bank. They just have what they have right now. Oh, does Time realize how much else is still on top of this ramp here? I don't think he fully realizes the extent of army here. And now coming in from the back as well. Byun. Oh, Byun, you need to synchronize the movements. Oh, that is unfortunate. I think one of those marine balls would have been able to get on top of the siege tank cluster had he had moved both those marine groups at the same time. And then perhaps this would have been a match already done and played with, but instead a slight miss micro here. Just a couple of seconds where those marines don't really match up with their movements, and Time manages to take one fight first and be absolutely open to take the second fight with the rest of the army here a little bit later down the line. Byun running around scavenging whatever he can. Still a medevac here with the 3 marines trying to bring them back home. Repairing the siege tanks that are very low on HP right now. But, oh no, his waypoints. His waypoints. Oh. He needs to fix. Okay, they're fixed now. Good, but it might be too little. It might be too late. I swear, if you had like 1 siege tanks more here and those couple marines, maybe this would have worked out. But that was just a little bit too much. Well played, Mr. Time, obtaining the 3-1 lead. Also weird spot, right? Where Time is now the player that feels comfortable knowing what is happening on the other side of the map. But Byun, in theory, still a little bit ahead because he didn't send that SCV across. So he had this little bump in income right here. A couple of extra minerals. Could be an extra Hellion somewhere here, right? How often have we seen TVTs go down in a blaze of glory because someone just had 1 more unit somewhere in the early game and suddenly they got on top of the SCVs? Or it allowed them to trade just a little bit too well. Suddenly, things go awry. Probably won't happen in this one as Byun went for the Widow Mine once more. Perfectly fine. Very defensive, but perfectly fine. I feel like sometimes we... Well, I guess the Cyclone is just such a defensive tool against medevacs, right? I'm wondering with like the medevac drops for like Hellions and Widow Mines, we don't see them as much in the TVT. Partially because the Widow Mine doesn't one-shot SCVs. But still, always in the back of my mind, I'm going like, well, if you have a Hellion there with the Widow Mine, right? Maybe 2 Widow Mines and 2 Hellions. Might be difficult. Might take too long, and then the Cyclone is there already to defend. However, well, here we go. Byun on the edge. Let's look on to the Reaper. It's not going to help him out too much, but... gets the Hellion there and gets himself some safety. Doesn't get the medevac, so doesn't quite get to wipe all those units. That could have been quite devastating for Byun, but it does not occur. So we're gonna just head back home with both these boys and just wait for further opportunities at a later point. Third bases relatively close together. A bit of an advantage for Time. Can't quite zoom in on the Raven here as it is out of out of sight. Barely still in the map. Ooh, movements. We're having some movements. Looking to deny a third base location here, perhaps. Ah, I like this. Maybe... Well, actually, where is that ring? Oh, here it is. It's hard to see here, isn't it? Maybe it could have been a little bit closer so it covers it a bit better. So right now it's... Yeah, like units probably are gonna like scoot by here and then not really get hit, I think. But we'll see. Byun's position here is quite interesting. I thought he would take a position somewhere here and then try to push himself into this location. But he is just set up at the front door. He's got the Widow Mine over on this spot. So maybe that is his plan, to try and lure a stim in from this area so he can get the Widow Mine to shoot. Well, I guess there goes that plan. Shanks on the high ground. That's the Raven interference matrix. One only for time. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. That is going to be a victory for time, I think. Just barely, but it's holding on. But the mine might reset actually. Oh, come on, the micro. Well, and that's that. They both trade their army units, pretty much. That's a lot of Raven going down full Byun, however. How many still available? Neither of them have any anymore. You just ridded the world of Ravens. Oh. Still here. Don't you forget about me. Byun says. As he flies in again. Oh, medevac getting shot by that Widow Mine once more. So I think a car alarm is going off in the distance. I don't know if that is audible, but... Oh well. Interesting. Well, we'll see. It's distracting me like nothing else. Like no tomorrow. Okay, upgrades very close together. Not really a distinct advantage for either of these players here. As 3 medevacs are about to embark on a journey of a lifetime. However, 2 Vikings are there to meet them. 1 medevac already killed. That is a lot of Marines going down. It might be the demise as well for these medevacs. What way out of this location is there now? 1 more medevac goes out. All the Marines do get shot. This is where we want to see them target the SCVs truly, but it looks like they're just barely out of range. Don't have the vision off of it. SCVs keeping the Marines alive as Byun pushes this away rather handsomely. Definitely starting to take the lead in the units lost tab right now. Think time perhaps hoping to have something happen there. Another bit of an engagement, a bit more units for Byun as... Ooh, that was a big loss right there. Very unfortunate for time not looking at the area. Byun having his sensor tower there, so he was fully aware of what was happening in that theater, or that part of the theater of war here. Inching forwards now with quite a demanding siege tank count. Doesn't quite manage to siege them up before the Marines of the time are already upon him. See, no, he's not gonna medevac himself in here, right? That would be crazy. Sets up shop on top of a couple of SCVs. We'll be able to shoot them down. 2 medevacs worth are gonna head towards this main base right here. There's a Widow Mine he's gonna be careful of. Okay, does prevent collision with that one. Medevacs for time. Oh, that is... Oh, time. Oh, time. And that's it. Yeah, that's a GG. Well played. In the bottom right side, a man trying to mount a comeback here. From Shopify Rebellion in the blue. Byun. Top left side, his opponents. in the red colors, playing Terran also. It is KC Gamers time. That could have been better. That works. I have to practice, guys. I have DreamHack later today. Gotta have my zooms on point. The signature spasm Kozan zooms. I bring the adrenaline. Right, pretty standard save openings here for both players. We'll let them both develop for a little bit longer. Once again, this SCV scout. Hoping that won't be a sign, as the previous time he did SCV scout, it was the match that he lost in the macro game. Was it because of this? You know what, I wouldn't be surprised if some people would try to convince me of it. How correct those people would be, you know what, I don't know. Alright. 2 Reapers. Will be versus 2 other Reapers. And a Hellion here pretty soon. Gets another bit of a rescout. As Byun will be the player here. Now being a bit aggressive. Nothing too much. With the bunker there, it looks like time will be pretty safe for it. Oh. You know what, I never noticed this, but those Reaper grenades, they show up in the structures tab. That's pretty interesting. Look at that, there it is. Reaper grenade. Who knew? That's funny. Useless knowledge for StarCraft, right? But you know what? It's 5 SCV skilled, with a bit of new information for me, so that's always good. That auto turrets also show up. Anyway, here he is again, the man with the aggression, looking to be a pain in the rear with his siege tank right now. In a wonderful position, needs to pick up that Reaper. Okay, does manage to save him. He's going to be able to get healed up right now once more. Where are the units for time to stop this from happening? The siege tank still on its way. That's going to be his big play here. That's the big DPS that he's waiting for to make this an okay hold. Taken already quite a bit of damage. The lock-on from the Cyclone once again negated by just picking up into the medevac. There's the siege tank. He's not going to get that starport, that's for sure. That would have been massive if he had before the Raven came out. Not going to be the case. Let's see. Units lost tab, 2 tech labs, the 5 SCVs, 3 Reapers, and 3 Marines as well now. Full time on that tab. Byun looking quite dominant right now, having a Banshee here also showing up. Guess what? Mr. Cyclone. You might have a look on, but oh, should be a cloaking field about to finish up here as well. I guess he has a Raven, however. Shouldn't matter too much. Gets the Cyclone, needs the Banshee, get the bench. Oh. Okay. Alright. Is this... Who's winning? I think Byun is. Banshee out of the sky right now, however. Still a Raven without any energy. That is a problem. Getting the target down, getting... Oh, that was such a nice Reaper grenade. That did so much damage to those Marines. That was insane. Oh, wonderful. Alright, guys. 3-3. Ooh. Managed to win the first 3 macro games, only losing 2 proxy 2 racks, and it felt like he was in a very strong spirit overall. However, suddenly Byun turning it up once again, bringing it back, finding a couple of good breaks with his engagements there as well. It has to be mentioned, a lot of the TVT sometimes does come down to, well, at which time did you send your army out, and at which time did I send my army out, and who is going to be more aware of their army positioning in comparison to their opponent's army positioning. And then, you know, if neither of them are that aware, then, well, sometimes it just comes down to whoever notices that they are running next to an enemy army. And whoever presses that stim button a bit sooner, gets the siege tank sieged up a bit sooner, and let the glass cannon shoot as much damage as it can into that other glass cannon. Really am enjoying the airplay though from Byun. I'm quite used to seeing him play with the other style that I was describing previously in the other matches. I guess he was showcasing that style as well in game number, I believe it was maybe 1 or 3 as well. Pretty sure the Proxy 2 Rex was game number 2. And ever since we've found both players just kind of casually sticking to their own bases, so yeah. Time being the player once again going for that scout, however. So once more, there is going to be this slight bump here for Byun. It may not seem that significant, but I mean, I might be called crazy here, but every time there's been a red SCV running across the map, he's lost. That red SCV is lost. Time just couldn't withstand afterwards. It seemed like Byun just had a bit more. Just a smidge more, and sometimes that's all you need. I believe it's a Dutch saying where they say that those who do not honor the small will never earn the great. Meaning, if you don't honor the little details in your work, if you don't honor the small gains that you can benefit from in certain things, will never become one of the greatest in something, right? Alright, here we are. Bit of an awkward exchange here, trying to jump on top of the units before they're fully unloaded. Ooh, the Cyclone locomotive into the siege tank. That is a bummer. They've had an opportunity there to just take it out and take the wind out of the sails of this push right here. I'm not certain why... Okay, Byun still having the factory building a reactor for the starport, it would appear. That is why he did not have in possession of his own a siege tank. However, he does solve the situation here without taking too many casualties. No SCVs hurt. He lost the reactor, however, and that is probably the biggest deal here. Luckily for him, it was one on a barracks. The Marines, however, important on the vital, crucial importance units, like the siege tanks and the air units here, to try and defend against a player being aggressive with a small quantity of units. Alright, nice catches here. Bit too over-ambitious from time. Jumping the gun. Finding nothing but trouble on the other side. As he was kind of sending in his units one at a time. So Byun stabilizes. Having a army supply lead of 10 by now. Once again, trading quite efficiently. Having that income advantage initially as well. Now kind of being grown to an even larger quantity. Look at that. Does appear to be some sort of a cumulative effect with that first initial SCV scouting. But maybe I'm wrong with that. I'm wondering how much of an importance that is to this. I guess there was just more money spent on army units already by time. Right, he did go for the siege tank instead of the cyclone. He brought himself the medevac quite early on. Ooh. Mission Impossible Vikings here. Look at that. Getting 3 SCVs killed off already. Oh, this is why he's busy. That makes sense. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is disgusting. Oh, this is just disgusting. He's still going. You can get more SCVs here. Look at that. Get them. Get them all. Guys, I think that might be it. I think this is where the terminology super dead would apply. Well, he has a strong army count. 35 boys strong sitting on the bench there. 4 of them being in siege tanks. 6 of them being in the Vikings. Make that 7. That's a strong army, man. If he can get himself in a good position and force a trade here for Byun to go into those siege tanks, perhaps, maybe, he's going to be able to stabilize in some way, shape, or form. However, he is taking quite a bit with having this push come forwards, and what I'm seeing from Byun, I'm absolutely loving as well. He is slowly moving forwards, and he's making time here work every square inch. It's making him sweat for every little bit of terrain. Siege tanks here blockading the area for the SCVs to mine, also making this even slower to continue onwards. Push out from this area here. Trying to barge his way through, having a bit of trouble. Is he trying to get through? I know certain that he is. Right, well, the mineral patches are gone now, so he can try. But the army supply, well, now in favor for Byun. So this is going to have to be quite a spectacular fight for time. Viking count definitely helping out, but there's another drop onto the SCVs. Not certain if that is entirely necessary. It's a way that Byun could still kind of fumble this game, right? By losing too many units. And in my mind, this could be a way to lose units inefficiently. It's not as much about for Byun now, you know, trying to shut down the economy anymore for time on these 2 bases. It should be more about just killing the army or slowing down the army from pushing you and just benefiting from having that better economy while you're denying a 3rd base. Denying a 3rd base, you know what, never mind, he's in, he's killing him. There we go, GG is called. And that is our victor. Byun stepping in, replacing Max Pax. Saying, I am Baxpax right now. And finding the victory over time. Very well played. A very tight series, guys. That was actually quite a fun TVT. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.